And hello everybody and welcome back to the stream, or if it's your first time here, welcome. Hope you're all having a fantastic Saturday, or whatever day it is for you right now. And yeah, we are back. So yeah, we've been playing Of the Devil recently. We're in Chapter 1 after doing Chapter 0 last week. And yeah, we just left off yesterday. We're inside basement of the apartment complex of our main character's dead friend, quote unquote. Don't know who the murderer is. I hope it's not our character Morgan here that killed him, but you know, we will see. So yeah, I should get this going, and I hope you all about having a good time. French ad about owls talking. That's kind of weird. Specifically about owls talking. What were they advertising? Buy this owl? Hey, okay, there we go. It seems to be capturing. They were probably advertising something, but it was in French, so I don't know. Fair. Very fair. Alright. Continue. Alright. So now we're looking around for clues and things to examine. What's the term I don't know what term it is that's updated, but whatever. Taking a closer look, this is a pretty serious looking set of resistance training equipment. And these weights, they're all set near the max. If Noble hadn't appointed him a nutritionist along with his stylist, David would be downright scrawny. There's no way he was putting up these numbers, in which case the digits on weights could be a clue. But there's too many and I can't guess the order. So what the hell, Asher? Did you just set all the weights to max because it looked more neat? That's not beyond the realm of what a man might do. David's wine collection still towering over the room. I don't know why he'd buy so many bottles. He didn't even particularly like the stuff. Maybe just to fill out all these shelves. But not all the bottles are in touch. Some of them don't have dust on them at all. There's a mechanism for retrieving bottles off the rack. The latest bottle chosen was a Merdocamp 81. Could be significant. Except vintages only list the year they were bottled, not the month or day. It's not enough digits for the code. This must be his spare liquor cabinet. Man, that's a lot of good stuff in there, and a lot of bottom shelf swill. The kind of bargain bin vodka and nose burner whiskey that only an undergrad programmer could love. Ha! Nostalgia's sweet like that. Overpowering. 1 part per million can cover up even the cheapest aftertaste. It's a very big painting. And it's, impressionist? No, cubicle. Cubist, which is still incorrect. Yeah, cubicle. That sounds right. It is not. Whatever its style, I do remember that David liked this painting. Search terms, big orange blue painting. Showing results for Predator. Predator is an oil-on-canvas painting by the mid-21st century neo-abstract expressionist Mads Haestorp. Mads Haestorp. Arguably his most well-known work, it was displayed in the... I don't know how to pronounce this. This Play-Centre d'Art Moderne for 9 months before Haestorp entered the premises on 11/25/58. And used a hunting knife to cut the singular mass of canvas into 3 separate pieces. When asked for comment, Haestorp replied, "My works are not complete until they have been signed." What? I don't know how that makes sense, but alright. There was a date on it that could be a 6-digit password, but I don't see one anywhere. Maybe signing your work was considered gauche among the cubicleists? The cubicleists. Surprised I can't click on his car. I'm very carefully looking through to see if there's some hidden thing I haven't touched yet. Because they had a hidden thing that was untouched in the last place that we got to do. Oh, here we go. This flooring's a new addition. Looks rough like sandpaper, but it's bouncy, rubberized. Feels like something you drag your feet on at a gym or on a factory floor. It's more high performance than high class, expensive, but not in the way you'd expect for a penthouse. Well, scratch that. It's actually cracked here. Rubber doesn't break, it bends. That's its thing. So someone must have cheaped out during the installation, left a defect in. That, or David left a jackhammer on overnight. Alright, I've searched the whole room now. Time to make or break. Am I expected to just know what this is? What? What? Oh. Ah! Whoops. Okay. I'm just supposed to know? It's Morgan Shirley? There's no way. No dice. I feel like there was at least one hint that I came across. Better try again. Moss, help! Let's put in our name again, and then I want to... There's at least one hint. I'm the predator. Oh my, I have found you. She said hint, and it was purple, as in referring to, search terms. Oh! 11, 25, 58. There we go. The date the painting was signed. A password that is and isn't left in plain sight. Nice one. Hey, Morgan, What? How did you get it to open? What is that? Turn back around just in time to see a door finish swinging open with a mechanical grace, revealing a girl. With a barcode emblazoned across her temple, required by law to be plainly visible. It's an android, clearly marked as such. And yet, even standing this close, I could swear it's snoring? I step forward and place the back of my wrist on the android's brow. Warm. It's a warm android model. Was he fucking this thing instead? It must be a prototype for the Animate 16. Or maybe a prototype for the 17 or 18? Biomechanical android with real human flesh. Sorry, biomechanical, yes, but it's organic flesh, not human. They're grown from lax Gemini cultures, but Sorry, I misspoke. Right, understandable, since... You seem surprised, Jess. Okay, what else? What's new about the Warm Like, we read about the Warm Androids in the last chapter. Warm is currently the most widely used term used to describe androids that feature organic flesh in some capacity. While the concept has been experimented with in the robotics industry for decades, Noble Electronics' recent foray into warm manufacturing with their Animate 16 model represents a huge leap forward that many analysts agree is a signal of widespread adoption to come. Though the specifics of how Noble's warm androids are manufactured and integrated remained a fiercely guarded industry secret, it is generally understood through marketing materials and user maintenance documents that warm androids will require oxygen, water, and periodic organic sustenance in addition to wireless charging. Need a refill? Warm android supplementals are available for purchase through the Noble shop. If your warm android doesn't receive sufficiently frequent supplementals or is repeatedly deprived of water, they may shut down most functions in order to preserve emergency power. If this happens, you can regain access to your warm android once your order of supplements has been confirmed as paid. You know, the thing that's weird about this is that, here's the thing. The whole thing about, like AI turning into people or making androids that are supposed to be as close to people as possible. After a certain point, how is this really any different from making a baby? And I don't mean the fornication part. I mean producing another person that starts as stupid but becomes smart. After a certain point, if you're making an android like this, you're kind of just making a baby. You're just kind of making a person just in an unconventional fashion that has nothing to do with fertilizing an egg. And so that's why I'm not really sure how technology like this will be received in real life in the future, because like it's kind of just, you're just making another person, but you're doing it in a way that's kind of just a little weird. Like, it'd be like, you could say that it would be like an accomplishment to be able to make a flesh and blood computer, but like we already do that when we have children. Like, what do you think the human brain is? It's a fucking meat computer. You know, as far as we know, it's a meat computer. So, like, if you, like, the closer you get to, like, a fully human, artificial human, like, the more it's just kind of like, well, at what point is this just the same thing as normal reproduction? You know? Because obviously, like, the implication is that because they're quote-unquote androids and therefore they aren't truly alive, that then justifies, like, enslaving them. So you could make the argument that, oh, because it's not a baby human that's grown up into an adult, it's not a person, therefore we can just make it do whatever the fuck we want. But, like, that's gonna be ethically met at some point. Like, and as a result, this is either gonna be something that is very commonplace to do in real life, or people will just never bother, because why make one of these when you can just make another baby? You know, like, especially if, like, laws are put in place where it's like you're not allowed to enslave artificial intelligences because they are people, etc., etc. At that point, it's like, okay, you're just literally building people that and that's it. You're just, like, you're not actually making any slaves for you to use. You're just making another person. I've been thinking a lot about at what point does an imitation of a human become real enough that it doesn't matter if it's not real. Well, yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at, you know? Like, after a certain point, like, how is this not just the same thing as reproducing, you know? And if making an android becomes as normal as reproduction, with there being no expectation of slavery, I could see this catching on in real life as being like a normal thing to do. Because like, oh, we can't, like, if we can make a baby, we can make an android, you know? Like, it's just, you have to, it's just, like, the question of ethics will come relative to how we treat androids that are this complex. You know? Because people could do crazy shit, like attempt to, like, re-upload other people's consciousnesses into these flesh androids, and then it's like, well, isn't this kind of like you just brought somebody back from the dead and they're not gonna want to become dead again? So, like, if it's a person in all ways other than the fact that it was built in a factory or with science, it's still a person, and it's like you there's gonna be ethical boundaries that you have to set. And depending upon where they end up, people will either think this is a fine thing to do, or they'll think it's pointless because you can just make babies instead for a much less ethical ambiguity, you know. Okay. Though the specifics on how Noble's warm androids are manufactured and integrated remained a fiercely guarded. Oh wait, I read the whole thing already, and then I started fucking talking. Okay, all right. Think about it more in the lines of ChatGPT, like recreating Her, the Joaquin Phoenix movie. You know, I heard that movie was good, but I never saw it. And also like the no spoiler. And also, AI takes over humans, die, Stray happens. That's not what happened in Stray, though. I believe in Stray, the humans like turned themselves into robots because like the weird super disease was like wiping them out or something, right? I'm pretty sure that's what happens in Stray. Like the humans in that game made themselves into those AI. You seem surprised, Jess. Hasn't Noble been working on warm androids like this one for a few years now? Warm androids like this one? I mean, yes, we have... Sorry, it's just that this particular model is very, it's very cutting edge. Bleeding edge, judging by the flush in those cheeks. I think it's safe to say that we've found what we're looking for. I think so, too. That presents a problem, then. Oh, do you not, approve? I've got nothing against androids. My concern is a bit more immediate and, well, practical. Practical? I don't know how to turn it on. I thought you were a lesbian, Morgan. I thought you knew how to turn these things on. I don't know if she's a lesbian. I don't even know where I got that. I don't even know how that was a conclusion we ever talked about at any point. I don't even remember. Do you see a switch or something? Do you? Can we, turn it around, or... I poke the android's ribs. A little less give than I expected, given its frame, but the rigidity is remarkably lifelike. I place my hand on the shoulder and give it a shake, but it doesn't budge. This thing has to weigh more than... Right, androids mostly transport themselves, so the people are always surprised to find out they're a bit heavier than they look. A bit? I'm surprised the whole room isn't slanted. There's no way in hell we're moving this thing without waking it up. Crap. First the vault, now this. I was able to guess the combination just by poking around. Compared to that, finding this hunk of junk's power switch should be a child's play, and I think I know where to start. Jess, I'm going to step back into the lab for a moment, alright? Huh? Oh, sure, there's gotta be a manual around here. Good idea. It might be some kind of prototype, but it's still got a barcode. Maybe you can scan its gene number. Gene number? Generic identification number. Okay, a gene is a string. You know what I just realized? Just like in real life, they immediately made the mistake of saying gene number because it means generic identification number, so it's generic identification number. Like when people say ATM machine. You can't pronounce gene like that? Why not? It's a string of numerals typically encoded into a bar. Gene is a word. I know... Whatever, like... Early on in the automated-dependent Industrial Revolution, concerns about the lessening gap between man and machine led governments to pass laws mandating that all ads clearly identify themselves as such to counteract rampant disinformation and identity theft campaigns. Manufacturers responded by stamping the gene code onto android bodies, most commonly on the cheek, above the collarbone, or on the back of the hand. Some companies placed the gene number on the wrist, but this quickly incurred backlash. Me and bros are drinking a gene. Oh, you mean I was gonna say, like, are you talking about gin? Like the drink? Like there's... I wasn't assuming that this fucking acronym would be pronounced like gin. Ginger. This quickly incurred backlash. Concerns about automated dependence impersonating humans have dropped precipitously since then, and the gene has instead taken on a new life as a cultural icon, as powerful and easily recognizable as any corporation's logo. Fake gene barcodes, fiends or whatever, are one of the most commonly requested tattoos. Oh my god. The vast majority of reputable parlors will draw a line through the barcode once finished to avoid breaking identity law, though there are some clients who care little about the consequences. MMA fighter Samli Paka infamously sports a gene tattoo across his right knuckles and makes a show-off of signing a check to pay the fine for displaying a false gene on an international broadcast every time he enters the ring. That's funny. I'm gonna pay my fine right now every time I go on a flight. Bam! I punch the fucking note. That's kind of fucking funny. You can scan its gene number and find something in the company files. Yeah, of course. All generic ID numbers should be paired with industry standard files on maintenance, tracking, power requirements. I somehow doubt that the Enigma android taking a cat nap in a sarcophagus in David Asher's basement will have a user manual. But it can't hurt for her to try, and... Uh-oh. I'm okay! Broke a heel, but I'm okay. I carry glue. I'd rather search the lab by myself. Oh, Jess. Now then, if I were David and I wanted to make sure that the only one person will be able to walk out of here, and make sure that only one person will be able to walk out of here with that android, how would I set that up? Damn, crazy. Alright. I haven't seen one since college, but this must be a 3D printer. Of some sort. Feels expensive enough to make other printers look like soda fountains by comparison. What if he was trans and gave himself a robot body? Oh my god, that would be fucking weird, but it's not impossible. Better not mess with any of the settings. Oh man, I love this. I love this crazy bullshit. Diagrams of human anatomy. The hands are highlighted. The most developed part of the human body. Good for making stone axes and sending emails. Robots and frames can do just fine with claws or 3-digit imitations, but androids are expected to look like people and move like them too. Getting the hands right must be a big priority at Noble. That tree-like shape on the right is a neuron. Those branches receive input of varying weight, and then if the sum is greater than a certain threshold, the neuron fires. A 0 becomes a 1, and all the other zeros around it take that into consideration. Repeat that a couple billion times a second and you've got the human brain, a computer powerful enough to simulate all of reality. That's the analogy I read in a magazine anyway. Well, I mean, it's true. Looks like a fairly normal computer. If I'm lucky, the security will be fairly normal as well. Boot up complete. Username, vocal commands. David Asher? Morgan? Guest? Thank you for logging in as a guest. It didn't recognize my voice, so I could probably rule out a vocal command being the key to waking the android. Do you have a question? More than one. For now, though, what should I search for on his computer? Search files for Morgan. 23 results on the local drive. I can work with that. Mostly phone book and social data, but I don't recognize this file type. Some kind of personal format? Date of birth, education, occupation, blood type, height, and weight? Uh-oh, he was keeping track of her weight. Uh-oh. No wonder she killed him. Alright, buddy, little invasive, don't you think? DNA and fingerprints. Now, why do you have that, David? My DNA isn't in any database. Were they fucking and he took some of her DNA or something? I've made sure of that. So he couldn't have bought this anywhere. He must have collected it himself from a wine glass or the like. It would have been easy to do. But why do it? Freak! He's appeared to be holding tanks for something. How should I know? No labels on anything. Typical for a genius, but a nightmare for anyone trying to pick up after him. It's a lot more hard science than I expected in here. Centrifuges and glass and microscopes. Don't programmers do all their work with a keyboard? Alright, I'm starting to get a pretty clear picture of what it'll take to turn on this android. It's gonna be my DNA that activates it. Oh, what if she has to make out with the android to turn it on? That'd be so funny. Totally not Gooner bait at all in any way whatsoever, I promise. I've got the what, the where, and how. I'll just have to manage. So just a piece of machinery. If it really won't turn on, I can always start hitting it. Morgan, there you are. I've looked in every registry I could find and every database I could get into, but I don't think this android is in the system. It was a long shot, don't beat yourself up over it. Yes, but an android without proper identification is... It's only buying or selling an android without proper identification that's illegal. And it doesn't seem like he ordered this online. I guess you're right, huh? We'll have it registered soon enough anyway. I think I figured out what we need to do here. Oh? If David really wanted me to have this, he would have left some way for me to turn it on. What are you thinking? David had my fingerprints and my DNA on file. By requiring both, he could be reasonably sure that no one was powering up this android without my approval. You've done a swab before, haven't you? every month for the company. Apparently, they're building a database on employee epigenetics cross-reference with... He made the android from a toaster, a Nintendo Switch 2, and a box of crayons. So this android is about to be autistic. Okay. Oh, so you're gonna... My DNA and my fingerprints make the key. Now, where to find the lock? It's gonna... I swear it's gonna want... I'm gonna have to make out with this thing in order to turn it on. Time for gay shit, everyone. Gay shit! It's 33% US Marine. What? The lips are one of the most sensitive parts of the body. Not the worst place to make a scan, even if it is gross placing my finger there. Oh, that's still not doing it, huh? Come on, do I really need to push my finger deeper? Jiggle the key? Oh man, you went right in there. Are you touching the tongue? It's blinking at me. Okay, so I didn't make out with it. But sucking on her finger is a bit gay, so... Officially, every character in this game is gay. Even the guy who had a girlfriend. Serra. Good morning! Line number 00108. I'm so confused. Good morning. Morgan. Long beat. Yeah, I bet she is long, huh? Good morning to you too. Cute. Hello, I've never seen you two before. Long beat, did she just start playing music? I have no idea. That is the most ghetto way I've seen Serra ever be spelled. I mean, honestly, it's very, very, like, Magic the Gathering. Like, I've never, like, I wouldn't even really describe it as ghetto. Hello, I've never seen you two before. I guess we should introduce ourselves then. Hi! This is Jessica Starling. She works for Dr. Asher. I'm Morgan, a friend of his. Got all that? I understand. She is Jessica Starling, and you are Morgan... Last name unknown? No, Morgan is my last... Father told me about you. The weird fantasy names usually are kind of similar to mangled ghetto names. I guess you're not wrong, yeah. Father told me about you. Aw, he did? Wait, Father? David, you had it call you Daddy? I am referring to Dr. David Asher. Are you confused? That's not the word I'd use. I'll throw a bone beyond the grave for the good doctor and just move this along. Did David say that he was giving you to me, transferring ownership? Ownership? That is correct. And what else did... Mostly correct. Right. And what else did he tell you? Many things. Can you specify? I thought conversation was the first thing David figured out how to program. You're my mommy! Doc... The gay femboy and the lesbian attorney could only have a child by making an android. Oh god. I don't know why I find that so funny. Oh fuck. Okay. Did Dr. Asher tell you anything that he wanted you to convey to Morgan? A message you were supposed to pass on? Yes. Jess, I think it's trying to... Oh, okay, sure, I'll give you some privacy, Morgan. I've actually gotten about 14 messages in the last 2 minutes, so... I'll just head back to the lab to take some calls, okay? Thanks, Jess. Yes, thank you, Jess. You're welcome. If David Asher's hair... Oh, wait, no, her silhouette is orange. I see now. Just the two of us now. So what do I call you? My name is Serra. It's nice to meet you, Morgan. Trust me, the pleasure's all mine. So what's the message? Father told me that I'd be living with you from now on, and he told me that you would look after me. Shouldn't it be the other way around? Should it? Model this lifelike with warmth and breath and something close to blood in its veins. Just what are you anyway? You forgot my name already? It's Serra. What were you built for? You're warm, obviously. You're not one of the physical therapy models, are you? Oh, God. That would be highly illegal. I haven't completed 500 hours of study at a state-approved massage therapy school. Okay, so this isn't really a thing that I commonly have any reason to mention, but I really fucking love in science fiction when you have characters that take everything completely literally. Oh my god. I fucking love it. I love when there are sci-fi characters that just take everything completely literally like this. It's so funny. It's such a stupid gag, but it's so funny, and it will never stop being funny. And yeah, 500 hours of study at a state-approved massage therapy school. I don't know if you guys know this, but massage therapy, at least in the United States, it needs a form of medical license. Like, my masseuse, she had to go to school for massage therapy to get a license to do massage therapy. Like 500 hours, that sounds completely and utterly normal. Like, is that like a year? Is that like 1 or 2 years of school or something? You know, maybe it's 6 months of school. I don't know what their I don't know what like the hours are on like a massage therapy school, but yeah, no, like this is reasonable. If they sell broken models, this really is the future. 500 hours, like a few months? Okay, yeah. Well, if that's what it takes to get a license, then that's what it takes. It's still going to school, though, and it's not even that unreasonably long. I haven't even completed 1 hour. What purpose did Dr. Asher design you for? I don't know the answer to that question. You don't know why he built you? No. Should I? How can you not? Do you? Would I be asking you if I did? I meant, do you know why you were created? Why were you born? Why? Why me? Why would you? Why are you doing this? You're a freak! Monster! What the hell's wrong with you? Please don't kill me! Please! Why? Why? Why was a monster like you ever even born? Pfft, guess I walked into that one. I was starting to wonder if you had a Turing solution. Oh yeah, we know about the Turing solution. Father's framework for programming linguistics and artificial systems, and the body of work for which he first gained international recognition. Yeah, and international Do you have an answer to my question? The answer as to why you were created, why you exist? Occam's razor. I'm here because my parents wanted me. I see. Then I will give a similar answer. I was created because Father wanted to make me. Can't argue with that logic, can I? Can't argue with that logic. Father did say that you're a lawyer. Yeah, that's me. You're a lawyer, and I defeated you with logic. World-class, high-power attorney, the best defense money can buy. So do you catch criminals? That's what cops do. Do you litigate criminals? That's what prosecutors do. Then do you fight for the underrepresented? Expose injustice, sue corrupt corporations and officials. I don't think anyone does that anymore. Ooh, that's grim. That is grim. Sorry, I keep pausing, I keep biting my nails. Then what do you do? I'm a criminal defense attorney. A defender of the innocent and the powerless. Uh-huh. Do you also... Now that you know all about me, what can you tell me about yourself? I've never had to do that before. First time for everything. How old are you? I'm not sure I can give a satisfactory answer. Oh, for 2 on answering simple questions. What's the date of your earliest memory? 2 years ago. And where were you constructed or assembled or whatever? What facility? I was not constructed at any facility. Father created me here. By himself. You're saying if I took you apart, I wouldn't be able to find any markers from any manufacturers, any IDs of any designer? You want to take me apart? David was a programmer, not an engineer. How could he build a custom android from scratch in the comfort of his own home? He couldn't have. He must have had help. Probably a whole department's worth. If I ask around, there's gotta be someone in the company who can ID this thing and help me figure out what's so important about it. You don't look like any android I've ever seen. What are you made of? This body is comprised of organic tissues integrated directly into cybernetic systems. They require organic nourishment, including water, carbohydrates, and salt. Wait, warm androids have to eat and drink? They cannot be worth that much trouble. My cybernetic systems operate largely as analogs to their equivalents in the human body. I have a respiratory system for oxygen exchange and a centrally located pump that circulates oxidant. She's 40% dolomite. I don't know what dolomite is, and I don't know what that joke is as a result of me not knowing what dolomite is. It's like those grow on your own mushroom kits, but it's a toaster and a watering can. I'm sorry, Herbert, but that's no watering can. That's a watering can't. Oh, it's a Futurama reference? Okay, I don't know. I don't have encyclopedic Futurama knowledge. She's a human with extra steps. Sort of. More like androids are humans with slightly less steps. A centrally located pump that circulates oxidant. So she doesn't have blood, but she has something that carries oxygen to all the tissues. I need to make grow your own tub kits and it's just a packet of onion roots. You mean you've got a heart? How quaint. But where does all the extra weight come from? Pardon? I tried moving you earlier and it felt like I was pulling against a truck. My skeleton is a combination of medical-grade plastics and a military-grade titanium carbide alloy. That sure took the wind out of her sails. My muscles are made of adapted rare earth alloy nanoweave fiber with shock absorption and kinetic chain potential rated past... Wait, did you say military grade? I have a grip strength above 1,000 kilograms. Wow, okay, so she has, like, super strength. Okay. I can run at sustained speeds over 60 kilometers per hour. I assume that's very fast. We know what the gym was for. He was using the gym weights to test how strong she is. Oh, that's fucking crazy. I can jump 6 meters vertically. This is a super android. Not quite Superman, but like this is way crazier than like Captain America or something. Like holy fuck, 6 meters vertically. I'm not sure what kind of grip strength most androids are walking around with, but I've never seen any of them move the way it's talking about. Even just standing there, it seems to be poised, controlled, spring-tight, strength and flexibility like a ballerina or a gymnast. Strong enough to flip over a tank, lifelike enough to avoid detection. As long as it never stepped on a scale, it'd make for the perfect infiltration unit. Morgan can kill so much with this thing. Yeah, but is Serra gonna be willing to kill things? The perfect weapon if you could keep its development a secret. Did David really put something that heavy on my plate? Dismantling a military prototype in secret? Are you deep in thought? But a military infiltration android would look more crew-cut and forgettable. And would David really devote personal time and effort just to make another weapon for the military? I have other features I could tell you about if you like. If I shot you, would you die? It would be very painful, and there would be discharge of fluid, but conventional weapons would not prove particularly effective. That settles it. This thing's a weapon. Sure as I... You say Serra got that gorilla grip? I mean, maybe. I don't know what age we're supposed to see her as, though, so I'm not gonna say anything weird. Yet. Would you like to know about my hair? Your hair? I'm impressed you noticed. Each fiber contains miniaturized solar cell lattice technology, allowing me to remain charged throughout the daytime. That must come in handy. I haven't actually had the chance to use it yet. This room has ambient wireless charging functionality, and I haven't gone outside much. Okay, maybe it's not a weapon after all. You're just a pincushion, aren't you? I am not familiar with the term. Searching. Pincushion, jargon, design refers to prototypes filled with experimental technologies to check for compatibility issues. Got an idea, not sure what to do with it? Stick it in the pincushion. It's as good an explanation as any for what I'm staring at. A mishmash of state-of-the-art military features spliced with odd new technologies and seemingly pointless additions. The end result being a singular, unsellable android that wasn't particularly good at anything and would break down after only a few years. Pincushions are small but valid part of the field in android manufacturing. They are valuable to collectors who see them as time capsules filled with the designer's most outlandish ideas and least reproducible results. But even the most nonsensical pincushions are built via committee over years, with numerous engineers and programmers adding in their pet functions. The android before me claims to have been built by one man. A man who's now... Seems we got off track there, Serra. Was there anything else David told you to relay to me? Besides that you were to look after me? He also told me that you were reliable and that I should trust you. He said that I was to listen to you and obey your instructions. Is David unaware of the fact that Morgan is a murderer? I guess David is. I guess David really has no idea. Because, like, why would he trust her otherwise, unless David was also in on the murders? In which case, And Serra is unaware that David is dead. Yeah. Possibly. Finally, some good news. As you say, Adonai. What's that? That word you called me, what was that? Adonai, from classical Hebrew. Translated literally, it means my lord. Do you prefer that I call you master? No. Very good, Adonai. Why David use Hebrew, though? Abrahamic myth tells of servants constructed out of earth and clay designed to resemble and obey their masters. Golems. Father must have found the comparison appropriate. Amusing, more likely. It's just a joke. Father would not make light of such a thing. Sure he would. Perhaps we should ask him to clarify his reasoning himself. Where is Father, by the way? Is he upstairs? Oh, got bad news for you, kid. When was the last time you were active? 38 hours ago. Thursday night, then? Correct. Right. David Asher is dead. He died last night. Understand? How? May I see him? See him? No, I won't be able to see him. Funeral's probably not for a few days. Father was not... He was not sick. I don't feel like doing the whole song and dance with 2 robots in one day. That's very charming, but let's go to commands only. What happened? Did he have an accident? Why is it still doing the theatrics? Does it not recognize my authority yet? The police have determined that he committed suicide. For the time being, we ought focus on getting you properly registered. Maybe then you'll take commands the first time I say them and not, the police are wrong. Excuse me? They are wrong. Father did not commit suicide. He would never do such a thing. Father had... He told me, look, Serra, I'm sorry? You're sorry? Father said you were his friend. How are you so calm? I've been around death a lot. So don't try to lecture me about grief, Spearmint. Spearmint? My name is Serra. You will use it because my father, Dr. David Asher, the greatest programmer in the world, gave it to me. And he did not kill himself. Let's say you're right. David didn't commit suicide. If that's the case, the police will realize that soon enough. The police have already made their determination. That's what you just said. Father said that you were a lawyer, that you were capable and reliable, and a friend. You should be looking into his death. That's... Is that an order? Of course not. It is a request, Adonai. A request that I'll have to refuse. The police have their job and I have mine. If I stick my nose into their investigation any further, they'll come down on me hard. And I'm a murderer, so that's not good, because they might uncover mistakes that I've made in the past. Cops don't like lawyers on principle, but what they really hate are people who tell them how to do their job. Let's go. We need to... Father asked you to look after me. Yeah, he did. He also said you should obey me, but you don't seem quite as fixated on that part. And he said something else. He said that you owed him a favor. Ooh. Ooh. One favor. The thin ice starts here, Spearmint. That was between him and me. Father is gone, so now it is between you and I. And I am calling in the favor now. What? You don't have to take care of me anymore. Consider that request null and void. You can sell me to some collector or you can donate me to a university, it doesn't matter. In exchange, you will prove Father didn't kill himself. And you will make sure that whoever hurt him is held accountable. Wow. Why are you laughing? It's you and me, not you and I. You and me. David would roll over in his grave if he knew you'd gotten that wrong. It was not my intention to amuse or rotate. Rotate? No, that's for damn sure. Fine, I'll take that deal, Serra. You mean you will prove that Father did not? I mean, I'll look into it. I'm a lawyer. I don't prove anything. I just disprove what I can. Then where do we start? We? I didn't realize you had a law degree. I do not have a law degree, but I am a fast learner. This isn't a job interview. And I am far from useless. I can... The ad did raise at least one good question. Where do I start? I'm a defense attorney, not a police detective, and David was my friend, not my client. I won't be able to poke around all that unless... And I am also capable of... Can you tell a lie? I am capable of making statements that are false. Yes, that'll have to do. Are you going to ask me to lie? Yes. To the police, in fact. Lying to the police is a felony. Androids don't commit felonies, they make errors. Ooh? 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 I'm really, really, really hoping that Morgan is not the one who killed David. I don't want the entire game to be, oh, Morgan is evil and getting away with it. Please let that not be the entire game. Androids don't commit felonies, they make errors. I see. What kind of error did you have in mind, Adonai? Are you sure about this? You have questions too, don't you? Right now, I'm just a little better equipped to get answers than you are. 3 days to Independence Day? Independence Day for your country? Congratulations. I don't know anything about your country, but I'm gonna give a thumbs up that you cannot see because I have no camera. No, it said July 1st in the game. Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, you're right. Right now, I'm just a little better equipped to get answers than you are. Okay, go for it. I'll make sure they're watching. Is the air quality at Noble headquarters kept up to state standards? What's that? All these Noble employees seem to have asthma. Was Father also working under such poor conditions? They don't have asthma. Then why are they carrying inhalers? Inhaler, corporate use. Adroxone inhalers. First legalized in 2083, the stimulant sold under the name Adroxone has since become one of the most widely used drugs in the corporate world. As a Class 2 stimulant of least concern, employees of any corporation in good standing with the Bureau of Narcotics Oversight can have access to Adrozone. Adrozone? Adroxone. You know, it's Adrozone. Okay. Without a prescription, so long as their HR representative feels it would be beneficial to their work performance. Workplace Adrozone, as it is sometimes called, is dispensed through biomonitor-enhanced inhalers that automatically detect overdoses and keep track of possible habit formation. Automatic safety levels may be adjusted at supervisor's discretion. Unsubstantiated claims that Adroxone was first invented as a purely recreational drug by the notoriously violent Skullhead Mafia caused enough of a stir that in 2083 a formal investigative committee was formed. Unfortunately, in 2084, an industrial hydrogen fuel accident resulted in the deaths of all 391 known Skullhead members, placing the investigation at an indefinite standstill. Wow. So, in this time period, if you work for a corpo, You must inhale super caffeine or else you will suck at your job. Man, it's so lucky that literally all of those gang members died at the same time. What an interesting coincidence. I can't believe Swedish House Mafia would do this. Why are they all carrying inhalers? Yes, ma'am, she's right over here. Oh, shit. Oh, it's you. Oh, it's you. Oh, man, all the waifus are gathering. Holy fuck. Did I mess up? On the contrary. Eyes wide. She's a DA. Quiet. She succeeded spectacularly in getting Noble's ears perked up. Emma Rockford! Didn't think I'd run into you here. Yeah, didn't think I'd be here either. That world is so messed up, they need those bombs at the end of Fight Club to reset humanity. Guys, I have a confession to make. I have never seen Fight Club. I haven't seen Armageddon either. Or any of the Die Hard movies. Fight Club is a novel originally? That's interesting. Fight Club has been memed so many times that my assumption is that it was one of those retarded 80s movies or 90s movies that just is a meme in the modern day, but I guess not. I guess it was like a real thing if a book was its basis. Watch Armageddon and Die Hard 1 and 3. It's by Chuck Palahniuk. He wrote it because he got mugged on the way to his office job and his coworkers didn't even care he was bleeding. Wow. Yeah, that would... I can see why he would be frustrated enough to create a crazy-ass book about people fighting each other. But the powers that be think my presence sends a strong message to the Megs, so... No, wait, what are you doing here? A few minutes later. I see. I'm sorry for your loss. Thank you for saying that. And thank you, Detective Reyes, for your many kind words. We can't all be as talkative as you. Normally, quoting poetry would feel pretentious, but you were so genuine in your reading. Bite me. I don't know there's a need for all that. Very mature, Detective. Did you come up with that yourself? Oh, no, that's Kaguya's signature pose! Like the pop star? I don't know what you're talking about. It's a really good dystopian critique of corpo jobs and stuff? Huh, interesting. I don't know who Reyes is. You weren't here when during part 1 when we were talking to Reyes? They can't all be your wives, CJ, because they're all my wives. Oh, he went to sleep. Okay. Huh. You know, Reyes was the girl we were basically doing all of our fighting against in Chapter 0. Yo, fuck past me. He has a he a bitch. What are you guys LDS with all the wine? Oh. I'm sorry, what does LDS mean? You can admit it if you do. Well, there's nothing to admit, because I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who that is. Wait, now you're saying you don't know who Kaguya is? Kaguya is the stage name of a singer-songwriter known for her powerful voice and her stage persona's intricately crafted lore. Latter-day Saints. Yes, I remember now. I immediately remember. I instantaneously remember. You said B-tuber, and for a moment I thought, oh my god, are you calling her a bread tuber? You bastard. What a horrendous accusation to make against someone. Known for her powerful voice and her stage persona's intricately crafted lore, after realizing a blitz of chart-topped singles, releasing a blitz of chart-topping singles, a quadruple platinum album, and a bevy of cultural reset music videos in just the last 3 years, she has come to be considered the leading living figure in pop music and popular culture realm. Kaguya's official age is listed as 1,086 years old. She's released her first single, Orbit, in 2083, which went on to peak at number 1 on the Billboard Top 100 and the Rubicon Digital Singles Chart and the Niate music video streaming tracker, making it one of the fastest selling singles in history. Personal details on the pop star remain scarce, and protecting her anonymity has become a core part of her fan culture. When a retired facial analysis expert claimed that her stage makeup was formulated specifically to make facial recognition on her impossible, a representative for her record company met with the press to clarify that she is simply a private person who wants her fans to enjoy the experience that is Kaguya's voice. Users also searched for Kaguya lore explained, Kaguya iceberg explained, Kaguya lunotropic tour tickets where to buy. Oh god. It would be fucking crazy if Reyes turns out to be this pop singer. That would be crazy. That'd be like, damn, we need to swap DNA, because holy shit, you're a badass. Anything new for Emma's dossier? Let me see. Worst at deciding what to order. Best at getting the staff's attention. Reads true crime. Body rippers. Artificial sweeteners. Home remedies, ink stains. Homemade remedies and ink stains for her dislikes. Likes. Milk tea, white noise, black lace. Okay then. Occupation. Assistant district attorney. Yep. Anything new on Reyes? Default status, do not disturb. Struggles with remembering lyrics. Relaxed when shopping for groceries. Dislikes babysitting, audiobooks, manspreading. Fuck. Oh man. This is funny because she's like a midget. She's a pretty. I think we determined last time that she's like 1 inch shorter than me or something. So, you know, so she's like a dwarf, you know, clearly, if she's 1 inch shorter than me. So it's funny that she's like, oh, I hate manspreading, even though she has a tiny body that can fit most anywhere. Chewing gum, sports drinks, biking. She's the most famous. Yeah, well, I just don't know who that is, so. Ma'am. Weren't you about to say something? Oh, well, I'm still surprised. 5'4"? Oh, she's much shorter than me, never mind. She's 4 inches shorter than me. Tiny little tomboy. Still surprised to see you here now, Morgan. Are you helping plan the services? Actually, the company will be planning Dr. Asher's funeral service. Wouldn't his family want to take care of that? No. No? No. I see. Sorry. So he doesn't have family. Except for the robot. Whoops. Sorry, headphones being weird. But if that's the case, why are you here, Morgan? Ha! Oh gosh, I'm so sorry to disrupt your morning. Hey, you're here for the same reason as every other suit they've got crawling around. Money. You're not wrong, there are a lot of annoying insects with annoying agendas scurrying around before my friend's body is even cold. But the honest truth is that I don't even know if David had a will. The company helped him manage his estate. Legal is probably already on it. Actually, judging by how much coffee that intern is carrying into the elevator, I'm certain they are. Right, so if you're not here for the funeral or the reading of the will... Miss Starling asked me to come here, actually, on a matter unrelated to David's passing. An unrelated matter? That's convenient. Isn't it? But now that I am here, it's come to my attention that the police have made a determination of the cause in the case of David's death. And where did you hear that? Am I mistaken? No, you're right, they concluded that it was suicide. Can always count on her to be blunt. I was worried about that. Yeah, I'm sure you must be feeling, because I'm going to have to contest that charge. What? The state has made a charge. I'm arguing against it. You know, this is interesting because Morgan doesn't really have any obligation to do this, but she has enough of a sense of honor to go through with it. Which is making me hope that she's not completely evil. Though she probably is completely evil. I'm hoping she isn't. The hell are you talking about? The police believe David committed suicide. Suicide is a felony in this country, detective. Oh my god. It is technically a crime to commit suicide, yes, but we're not in the habit of bringing dead men to trial. Especially not for their own murder, Morgan. No, not to trial, of course not. But there would be a preliminary hearing in a case like this. Noun, a court proceeding that considers whether there is sufficient evidence to go to trial. A preliminary hearing is a step in the criminal court process in which a judge or jury will evaluate whether there exists sufficient evidence to justify a trial. Between security systems, personal devices, biomonitors, IoT crumbs, automated dependents, and mods, it is extremely rare in modern times for the people's evidence of a crime to be found lacking, making preliminary hearings somewhat of a formality since that is frequently sidestepped without protest from the defense. But there would be a preliminary hearing in a case like this. Technically, as a formality, assuming the courts aren't busy that day, I'm afraid that on this occasion, I'm going to have to insist on formality. Yeah, well, you really don't have much to say in the matter, do you? With David gone, I have the only say, really. I am, after all, his criminal attorney. All that money and he needs his drinking buddy to be his attorney? Bullshit! I'm also skeptical, Morgan. It's a pretty serious conflict of interest to be your friend's defense attorney. You're absolutely right. It is a conflict of interest. And I would have said as much to him if I had the chance. What do you mean? I only found out that he wanted me to be his attorney today. After he died? How the hell did you miss that memo? Embarrassing, isn't it? But to be fair, it was hidden pretty well. Oh, I didn't know you had an android, Morgan. It's cute. Thanks, but it's actually David's. And it's technically my witness. Witness to what? 38 hours ago, is that David Asher communicated to me, as a matter of record, the following explicit legal intent. That in the case of any and all criminal charges brought against him by the state, his attorney would be Evangeline Morgan. Oh! Oh, wait, no. Right, we don't know Morgan's name, so Serra is just making up her first name. Okay. Evangeline. I assume that it's a fake name that she had Serra make up. Man, look at all these hot women. No, wait, seriously, your name's Evangeline? Evangelimon! Oh my god, imagine a woman with this name and people pronounce it as Evangeline. Did your parents name you after a Christmas carol? Should we all be curtsying? It's not funny. No, of course not. Nothing to be embarrassed about, Evangeline. No, Evangelemon, like an evangelical lemon. Or do your friends call you Angel? I hear Kaguya's on tour, detective. Should I get you tickets? You could have your dad drive you, like all the other 15-year-old. Hey! Feels like we're getting off topic. What were we just... Neon Genesis Evangeline. I was telling you that David Asher wanted her to be his criminal defense attorney. Imagine my surprise. An android's recording of a verbal expression of intent isn't exactly ironclad, Morgan. That's fair. And if we were going before an upper-level court, I would expect that to be open to all kinds of scrutiny. But we're talking about a preliminary hearing. A formality, as you called it. If he asks for representation, he deserves representation. Doesn't matter if he's dead or alive. Am I missing something? What difference does it make? Not even an adjutant would be obtuse enough to sentence a dead man. No, there won't be a sentence, but the adjutant will render a verdict. And verdicts have consequences even for the deceased. Is that what this is about? What's she getting at? If the court agrees that this was a suicide, that verdict will retroactively affect evaluations of the individual's mental health. Like, whether he was his right mind or not? You know anything about estate tax law, detective? No. But I'm sure you'll be happy to educate me. More than happy. An individual found by a court not to be of sound mind can't very well give their consent to the lawyer drawing up their will. If his will is compromised, all of David's considerable assets would suddenly be thrown into legal limbo. In which case, the state would be legally obligated to come in and pick up the pieces. So this is just about money? I'm almost disappointed in you, Morgan. Well, when you take into consideration all the factors, it's actually more complicated than that. For example... Ha! Never mind. No, Starling, you should speak your mind. All I mean to say is that while Dr. Asher did have significant holdings in art, real estate, and intellectual property, he also, of course, owned a great deal of stock in numerous corporations, principally Noble. If he was ruled to not be of sound mind, and his shares were to end up acquired by the government, Noble would suffer a serious blow to its commercial image and its standing in the financial community. All of which is to say there's a great deal at stake here. Not the least of which is the reputation of a man whom I was proud to call my friend. You're not buying this, are you? In case you haven't noticed, the city is working closely with Noble on this, and they're not gonna let you bring them any unwanted attention. Onlookers! Starling did her part. They're watching, and they've stopped trying to hide it. Oh, she wants people to record this so that it makes the public be like, no, you have to do this. And then Morgan will have the support to go through with this from the public. From here on out, it's a gamble. Noble Electronics already has unwanted attention. Why are you raising your voice? If nothing changes by the end of the day, the whole country is going to hear how David Asher committed suicide. By midnight, there will be questions about his competency, concerns about why the brain inside every single Noble ad was built by an apparently unstable man. The shareholders will have nothing to do all Sunday but brood over that sad thought and all its disturbing implications. By the time the markets reopen on Monday, I would expect a great deal of volatility. That's so? I understand Noble's apprehension, of course, Emma. I just feel like right now, the fiscally conservative thing to do would be to not get in my way. So you've got your reasons, and Noble's got a lot to think about. But why should the District Attorney's Office devote valuable time to playing out this game of yours? Because they're certain they'll win. That goes without saying. The courts should have an opening at 6 p.m. I didn't have anything planned. Then it's a date. Detective, would you get her clearance set up? Yes, ma'am. Updates every hour, yeah? You're out on a limb, Morgan. Better not linger. Here. Clearance for all the relevant sites and police firewalls. You can interview and investigate with your authority as an officer of the court now. If you haven't already been doing that. She can open the other eye. Okay, yeah, so the way that body mods work in this universe is that they do typically have a lot of side effects, and for Reyes, her right eye is bionic and it does this computerized shit. But it's so sensitive to light that when she's not using it, she puts an eye patch over it. She's a Chunibyo. What? Shut up. Is that like a Naruto thing? I don't know. You haven't already been doing that. Don't even think about being sloppy with discovery on this. Rockford might think you're funny, but I appreciate the warning, Detective Reyes. It's nice to know you care. No, it's the second grade syndrome. Chunibyo. I'm when kids pretend they have superpowers. Oh, okay. Well, I'm retarded and I did not know that. Okay. I live to serve and protect. Phew. Thanks for the assist, Starling. Yeah, no sweat. Are all cops like that, or are they more like that Detective London gentleman? Most are like her. They're mostly like that, yes. They're all that intense? Yes, it comes from being short. And most cops are short? Yes. Oh. Right, well, I'll see you at the courthouse tonight. If you need anything in the meantime, don't be afraid to ask. Short means closer to hell. That's why they're pigs. You know how when you go to hell, you hear the sounds of pigs being slaughtered? It's all cops. By the way, don't take that. Nobody take that seriously. That's a joke. Good luck, both of you. What do we do now? Well, I have a few options. I have access to the crime scene now, probably the best place to start. I'd like to head over to the company's building as well. To get me registered, among other things, either David killed himself or he didn't. But if he did, it's almost certainly his asshole corporate overlords who are to blame. In which case, I'll want to take my sweet time raking them over the coals. So even if he didn't commit suicide, Morgan wants to punish the company out of sheer revenge? That's kind of based. What are you doing? Nothing. What about Father? When can we see him? He'll be at the morgue by now. The medical examiner will speak to me now that I'm operating under the court's authority. But if I stop to flash paperwork at every nurse and security guard with nothing better to do than ask questions, I'll have to... What's that look for? You were father's friend. Thank you, again, for reminding me. Aren't there people you'd like to speak with? Other friends who'd want to know? Bad news travels fast. I'm sure everyone in the country has heard about David by this point. But all that heartbreak shit did keep me pretty occupied these last few weeks, and I was never one to pry. If there was someone who could tell me more about David's personal life over the last several months, it'd be worth the effort of finding them. Do you have someone in mind? Maybe someone he met recently? He spoke about becoming close with someone this year, a musician. Now that you mention it, there was a PO something that David might have mentioned when we talked back in... I'll begin a search. I've completed my search. I found nothing. Thanks for the old college try. Is that really the best you can do? Father was a private man, in person and online. With just a few letters and the fact that he was a musician, I'm afraid we don't have enough information to narrow down the results, Adonai. No, we have plenty of information. We just need the right person for the job. What kind of person is that? Time and date expunged? Precinct 112. Detainment room? And who would you even have called? Oh, it's this brat that she was talking with. I don't know, but I should have gotten my phone call. Instead, I got you. Who are you again? My latest guardian? New foster parent? Want me to call you mommy? I'm not really the motherly type. Hey yo, we might actually get along. So I've got good and bad news. I'm not your guardian, I'm your lawyer. You've been given a lawyer because you're being charged with a felony. I'd call her mommy. CJ, please. Please. Please, no. You don't know what you're doing. She's gonna murder you. Fascist pigs. Skipping school's a felony now? Hacking into a government database has been a felony for a very long time. That's the point! I love a woman that will actually just kill me. That wasn't me. They have your keystrokes, your IP address, your login times, and the playlist you were listening to. That was for a homework assignment. Here's what I don't get. You got in, copied the data, could have gotten right out. State wouldn't even know they'd been robbed until they saw their passwords show up on black market clearance 2 weeks later. But you didn't get out. You stayed and made changes to their database. You robbed the bank, got clean money, then dragged a can of spray paint behind you all the way home. Why? Look, I didn't steal anything. I wasn't already compromised. And the only data I edited was my own. So if anything, they should be thanking me for correcting their mistakes. What, did they get your birthday wrong? My name. Name changes are only 2 pages of paperwork. You just need to fill out the form and get a signature from a parent or guardian. So, what's the good news then? The good news it was that I'm your lawyer, not your guardian. The hell? That doesn't count as good news. That's just a thing you said. Don't be so sure. A lawyer's a lot better than a guardian. How's that? Parents, guardians, foster, whatevers, they're all supposed to take care of you because it's the right thing to do. A lawyer is someone who always does what's best for you no matter what because that's how they get paid. So how good are you at your job? So that, I assume that was a flashback to how she met this guy. Yeah. Oh my god, he has a tag that says Gucci. Are you fucking serious? Hello, mon coeur? Hello, mon coeur? Hello, mon coeur? Is that how you pronounce that? I don't know. It's pronounced coeur. Coeur. I don't know how it's pronounced. Me either, Morgan. I don't know shit. And don't call me that. When I met Fran in that police station, I couldn't help but bet that I'd land the jackpot. That I'd landed the jackpot. A valuable asset with a skill set complementary to my own personal and private pursuits. Oh, she did? Oh, okay. Someone who, after seeing the sweetheart probation deal I managed to land for them, would be more than happy to help me with whatever I need, whenever I need it. Okay, let's get Fran's. Yeah, September 20th. Oh, there's a lot of people in this universe that have an O blood type. Is that unusual, or are there lots and lots of people in the world with O blood types? September 20th, 158 cm, 51 kilograms, occupation, student, hacker, but don't put that down, obviously. I think it's rare. Oh, well, it's not rare in this setting, because we found like 3 people who have O-type blood, or something like that. Likes, haptics, synth music, cinnamon toast. Dislikes, teachers, politicians, adults, cops, alarm clocks. Values, rarity, originality, history, vibes. Favorite subject, none. Worst subjects, literature, social studies, athletics. Little fucking bitch boy. Always so cold, Fran. Can't I even get a good morning? No such thing. Nothing good's ever happened until the afternoon when people are actually awake. What I got instead was a compulsive liar with a horrific sleep schedule and a crippling addiction to poor time management. What do you want, Red? I can't call you up just for fun. Not if you don't want to get blocked. I need you to find somebody for me. Can't do it. I've got homework. We both know the only time you ever do your own homework is during the class it's due. And I've got sports. You can't tell a basketball from a hockey stick. And I've got a bidding war to win. You're the only person on Earth bidding on 70-year-old Gucci. Oh, oh no, it's not Gucci, it's Coochie. No! It's called Coochie. No! Oh no, you're the only person on Earth bidding on 70-year-old Coochie and Air Joe Dan vintage reps. Air Joe Dan. Fran, I think you can take your eyes off the auction block. So yeah, so sorry, but I'm busy, so I was hoping we could skip straight to the carrot portion of the routine, but if you insist on doing things from the top... Huh? I had an interesting conversation with your parole officer yesterday. Oh, yeah? It might be that the game devs gave them the blood type according to the Japanese personality thing. I don't even know if the devs are Japanese, but maybe. So a lot of law detective guys would be O. Sure. Oh, yeah? They've been really into the self-prefixes lately. What? Self-motivation, self-actualization, self-help. Oh. And he thinks you could really benefit from it. You're lying. He's got all the workbooks ready. Clearly your Saturdays are stacked, so I'll make sure your Sundays are full of... Fine. I get it. I need you to find a local musician. A musician? Knowing you, this will be Electro Swing or some other awful... Last name Powell or Parker. And that's all you got? They'll be in David Asher's circles. Wait, Asher? You're working that? That should be more than enough for a clever kid like you yourself to go on. Don't go expecting any miracles. I need this soon, within the hour, ideally. Within the... You know I have other clients, don't you? Other clients who actually pay you on time? A musician. Find him. Okay. Even talking over the phone, you're very animated, Adonai. What do you mean? Just that you're very expressive when you talk to people. Of course I'm expressive. If I wasn't, how would anyone know what I'm thinking? I see, I'll keep that in mind as we... Wait, you really expect to tag along? Of course, Father was... Yeah, I know you want to, but why should I let you? Because I am capable and helpful. Uh-huh. I mean it, I can take notes for you, and move heavy objects, and I'll learn to do more. How? I will subject every individual encounter to a basic survey, to procure biographical information on them while I gain experience in questioning. Subjecting them to torture. I can help, Adonai. How fast can you fill out forms? Fast. Congratulations, you're halfway to being a paralegal. You coming? August 29th, 160. Weight! 199.99 kilograms, holy fuck! Blood type, UAD, because she's an ad. Occupation, unemployed. Paralegal, question mark? Likes, martial arts. Carbonation, collarbones. What? Dislikes, static, blackouts, elevators, talents. I'm good at lots of things. Skills, I'm not sure how skills differ from talents. Her birthday is 3 away from yours? Oh. I also like the 180 rule. What? You coming? Right away, Adonai. 11:45 a.m., July 1st, 2086. Noble Employee Housing Building. Plateia. I'm not gonna lie, I am gonna be so fucking upset if Morgan also killed David. I don't want that to be the thing that is happening in every single case in the game. But I'm leaning towards it not being the case because, like, she would be drawing attention to herself by taking on David's case of him not committing suicide. Like, if she killed David with the intention of it looking like a suicide, she's kind of just fucking herself over by being like, I'm gonna prove that it wasn't suicide because I'm the one who killed him. You know, it's like, huh? So hopefully that's not what is about to happen and that it was somebody else that killed David. Pretty quiet elevators, huh? Dining room. You could have taken the next one. It's a busy building, detective. Can't hold up everyone else on our account. Anything you'd like to grumble at me before I start? Don't touch anything. I don't care that you're wearing gloves. I have been to crime scenes before, you know. Long before the police get there, in many cases. Yeah, because you fucking did it. Look, Rockford asked me not to get in your way, but that doesn't mean I'm going to bend over for you. Do you at least have the autopsy report? No. Are you seriously? I don't. She doesn't? The report should have come in hours ago. It wouldn't take this long unless the cause of death was still... Then I'd settle for a summary of the preliminary findings. An emergency call was made shortly after 8 p.m. last night via the home security system, right? Emergency medical services had a VTOL in the air within the minute. They landed on the penthouse's helipad at 8:08. Excuse me. Dr. Asher was found unconscious with low blood pressure and a weak heartbeat. He wasn't breathing. In-flight auto-triage administered artificial CPR while in transit to Gatesfield Memorial. So they don't even have people doing CPR anymore, they just use a CPR machine. And I've seen the CPR machines, they look horrifically painful. But if it's either break all the bones in your rib cage, or die of a heart attack, then I guess it's better to have all the bones in your ribcage broken. He was declared dead a few minutes after being taken to the emergency wing. I see. And the cause of death is being investigated. Make an educated guess. He stopped breathing, so they gave him oxygen. His heart stopped pumping, so they had the machines take over. His brain activity dropped to 0, and there wasn't anything else they could do. It was poison, wasn't it? What kind? You don't know, do you? Ah, they don't know either. Like I said, ma'am, we don't have the autopsy report yet. Why are you certain it was poison, Adonai? Couldn't it have been an accidental overdose? If he had overdosed on a commercial drug, even a pre-med student would have spotted it on the hospital's intake screening. They would have been able to pump his stomach, neutralize his bloodstream, and he would have lived. But he didn't live. So it must have been something deadly, a compound designed solely to kill. A fast-acting, deadly poison that causes respiratory failure. The list can't be that long. Even just through process of elimination, the medical examiner should have identified it by now. Unless... You suspect a designer drug, don't you, detective? Why is it you're only quick on the uptake when it suits you? Nothing else makes sense given what we know and what we don't. What is the CDA? CDCA. Contraband Decriminalization Acts. Oh. A series of laws passed in the 2060s that decriminalized all narcotics use and established the Bureau of Narcotics Oversight to administrate the production, licensing, distribution, and taxation of drugs across the country. I know this is very fucked up, but I kind of agree with doing something like this. Like, can we just, like, have the government not let people go to prison for fucking dying of drugs, you know, or whatever? I'm falling asleep. Okay, man, you have a good night, and I hope that we will see you next week. Yep, see ya. Overwhelmed by civil unrest and eager to replenish government coffers, the CDCA were intended to reduce the backlog of criminal cases across the country and provide much-needed tax income. Happy Easter, by the way? Okay, you as well. Good night. While also incentivizing immigration with the promise of amnesty. In what was considered a domino effect, other major nations around the globe passed comparable laws to build up their own depleted war chests and revitalize their local economies. The so-called white wave of global amnesty overturned the international drug trafficking market in just a few short years. Oh, you know, that's kind of a good thing, if we're gonna be honest. The Grey Wave followed soon after, as money-starved criminal organizations waged economic and literal war against multinational corporations for dominance of this new gray market. Fierce competition for government licenses to produce classic narcotics emerged alongside a race to develop new, more powerful designer drugs and to monopolize on their sale in the months it would take the government to identify and legalize them. While rates of addiction and overdose deaths have dropped since their peak in the last 2 decades, the dangers associated with untested designer drugs and drug distributors' eagerness to earn new customers has continued to fuel debate over the legacy of the CDCA and the white wave as a whole. Yeah, this is a very realistic outcome of this. I don't know if it would be quite as grim in real life, but the CDCA decriminalized and cataloged all recreational drugs. Guess you aren't entirely clueless about politics. So whatever Father overdosed on should have been in the hospital's database. You need to update your definitions. You're confusing designer drugs with recreational drugs. Custom made for recreational drug, typically psychoactive. In the literal sense, designer merely denotes any drug that is custom made as opposed to mass produced. typically outside of normal pharmaceutical industry standards. In common parlance, however, designer drugs, deeds, are illicit narcotics formulated to produce a recreational high. While the CDCA and the white wave that followed it legalized and taxed virtually all known narcotics, it did so alongside extensive documentation and study, and those laws could only apply to drugs that already existed. Any drug patented after the white wave must go through approval processes and registration with national and international authorities, a time-consuming process that can take anywhere from 6 months to several years. This time lag creates a window of opportunity where an organized criminal groups can step in to meet the demand for a narcotic. What has become known as riding the wave is the new normal for the international drug trade, pitting mob chemists against corporate laboratories in a race to develop newer, more powerful, more easily habit-forming drugs, and cornering the market on them before legislation catches up to them. Users also frequently search for, is Nerve legal yet? Best New Deeds 2086. Nirvana designed by who? What the fuck? What is the difference? Recreational drugs are decriminalized and sold through pharmacies after years of testing and mountains of paperwork. While the average designer drug was invented last week in a 19-year-old line cook's bathroom on the other side of the globe. Hospitals can't know the proper countermeasures for an overdose of a drug that didn't exist 48 hours ago. I came across makeshift labs all the time when I was a uniform. The equipment's cheap and widely available. Black market cooks, gray market peddlers, and white-collar lobbyists, all chasing each other's tails in a long line to find the next big hit. That's pretty bad. That's pretty fucking bad. CDCA didn't change shit. More people die from ODs than ever before. Oh, Christ. Only difference is, it's their families finding them in the living room and not beat cops finding them on street corners. Real comforting, I'm sure. If it wasn't you talking, I'd say that was criticism of law enforcement. Not law enforcement, just a law. Assuming it was a designer drug, that would certainly make things more complicated. For the insurance guys, maybe. For us, whatever he used to do it, he still killed himself. Or didn't kill himself, if you insist. I'm gonna take a look around now. Yeah, sure, make yourself at home. What's that face for? I thought that there would be an outline. An outline? Around where they found Father. Like in the movies? Like in film. Connect to the police's network and bring up their ARCS file. Augmented reality crime scene, I see. This part's pretty cool. Augmented reality crime scene. There is an outline. And so this is where he died at the hospital. This is just where the medics found him. And it's the sensors and cameras they were wearing that creates the basis for this ARCS? They didn't realize they were walking into a crime scene, but their body cams gathered data all the same. Where do we start? You can start by following behind me and trying to be as quiet as possible. I'm starting to get a feel for when she's pouting even without looking. Police androids monitoring the scene. Could almost mistake them for the real thing, the way they stand there trying to look important. Excuse me. Like an indoor dog taking its first trip to the park. Pardon? Why are you looking at it like you've never seen an android before? Because I haven't, in person. David didn't even let you have a mirror? Brutal. Just scan its geen if you're that curious. Unless that's considered too forward or whatever. I always admired this view. The buildings gleam with reflections of holograms and sunlight, and their shadows obscure all the run-down, rotting parts of town. Maybe the view's secondary. Maybe all anyone really wants is to put as much distance between them and the street level as possible. Is it possible that a witness could have seen something through these windows? Not through these windows, no. David installed wide spectrum auto tint in all his homes, all his cars. I didn't know that. Well, you wouldn't notice unless you were viewing the penthouse from more than... Why did he care so much about his windows? A chessboard and a datapad with a series of characters on it. E4, C5, NF3, E6, D4, CX D4, NX D4. This is... algebraic notation. Was he studying an old game or playing against himself? Black has checkmate in 40 moves. Wow, a robot that's good at chess. We ought to put you in a museum. But I'll take your word for it. What do you mean? Do you not play, Adonai? No, especially not against David. Well, that is to be expected. Anyone who challenged Father to a battle of wits would naturally grow tired of losing. Every game starts the same. Each player has the same pieces, the same moves, the same options. It's a true test of wit, strategy, and forethought. To me, it always seemed too boring. Too fair. The smarter player wins every time. And that is something you take fault with? Of course! How's a gal like me supposed to win a game like that? Morgan just calling herself a retard. Cool, I guess. Says here that when the medics arrived, he was on the floor face up. Does that tell you something? And then she starts mimicking her. Hey, if you were going to drink a glass of poison, would you be sitting or standing when you did it? I find it very difficult to speculate on that hypothetical scenario. Chess is easy as hell if you bring a gun. You're not wrong. The seat by his body is pulled out. If he was seated when he lost consciousness, I would expect to find him slumped over on the table. But he wasn't found slumped over. No, he wasn't. And if he had been standing when he lost consciousness, I would think he would have fallen forward or at least collapsed less neatly. So what can you conclude from that, Adonai? Only that I'm missing something. Somebody might have moved his body after he was poisoned. You know, namely, hopefully it's not Morgan who did it. I really hope it's not Morgan who killed him. Better take a closer look. Spilled alcohol. The arc shows how it looked last night before it evaporated. No foreign substances in the puddle. It's clean. So does that mean wherever this spill came from must be clean as well? Ah yes, now we're getting crime scene data. Whiskey found spilled on the dining room table. After evaporating for most of the night, there's little left to test. No foreign compounds have been found. The results are deemed inconclusive. Okay. For a moment, I thought this coaster was an Oreo, and I was like, oh! Let's read this datapad. Password locked, but already cracked by the police, it seems. All the docs were take-home safe, nothing spicy. When was it last used? 7:48 p.m. Still reading work emails only a few minutes before he committed suicide? Morbid. There's a lot of messages marked priority that breadcrumb their way back to an article. It's this one! We've read this before. Wait, we've read that this happened. I don't think we read the direct article about it yet, though. Warm android's blood saves soldier's life. In a stunning and heroic episode, one of our nation's brave soldiers had their life saved by a noble android, and in a way that no other competitor's product could. A brave private, name withheld, was wounded during a military operation whose exact nature and location is currently classified. Bleeding badly and far from the nearest triage station, he was carried to safety by his fellow freedom fighter, an Animate 16 enforcer, one of the few warm androids being currently tested out by the armed forces. But the android didn't just sit there and wait for evac. It opened up its own arteries and pumped life-saving UD, universal donor, synthetic plasma into the young man's veins, stabilizing him long enough for him to reach a military hospital. I have no doubt he'd be dead if there was any other android fighting alongside him, said one commanding officer who asked not to be named. I always thought Noble was only good at making ads that looked good. Now I know they've got something inside them that no one else can compete with. The story brings a well-deserved shot in the arm to Noble's stock prices and market shares. With this one heroic moment, Noble's warm androids have proven themselves to be worth their price tag, and then some. And people in the capital are paying attention. It's certainly an interesting idea, Senator Mathing said when asked about committing to a military contract for Noble to provide the armed forces with warm models. This story's got people talking. If we just ignored our constituents' feelings on this matter, we'd be neglecting our duty as politicians, and I know none of my peers would ever try to put a price on the life of one of our soldiers. Fuck you, you fucking politician piece of shit. Fucking lying piece of garbage. Fucking hell. While additional details about the incident have remained closely guarded, the net is already ablaze with talk of, oh damn, you're not logged in. This is that article that I've seen going around, but why would Noble have marked it as priority? Starlink said they weren't in any rush to pat each other on the back over it, even though they'd won themselves a real prize. Oh wait, I'm gonna fuck this up, aren't I? Time to save the game. Was it a military contract? I don't think so. Oh, okay, no, it is the contract, yeah. They now have the excuse they need to pressure the military into a contract for warm androids. Can't dismiss the expensive upgrade as unnecessary now that it's saved a soldier's life. This time next year, there'll be pink oxidizing fluid being spilt all over the globe. So there's like, actually, you know what's interesting is that means there's active war going on, but I'm not sure what their active wars are about or what the point would be of them. 2 cups, one empty, knocked over, and one mostly empty. These look cheap. Did his guest bring them? I've seen them before in the basement liquor cabinet. He kept these lying around? I knew he regifted those crystal glasses I got him. Ark says there's nothing foreign in the upright one, so it can't have been poisoned. Results are inconclusive on the other cup, however. Looks bone dry, must have been nothing but fumes left by the time this was considered a crime scene. Just not enough there for them to test. Inconclusive means inconclusive, that's all. Cheer up and read me the results of the fingerprinting. Father's prints are on both cups as expected, but there are someone else's on the upright cup, so someone else must have been with him last night. Slow down, all that proves that someone else touched the cup. Doesn't tell us when they did it. And since we don't know who the prints belong to... Adonai, why don't we know who the prints belong to? Are the prints flagged as unidentified, or... No, there's space for a name, but the field is black. Shit. Am I already too late? Am I already that late to the action? Detective Reyes? Yeah? There's a second set of prints on the cup. Is there a form you'd like me to sign? Doesn't matter how nicely you ask, sometimes people just can't answer. You should know that damn well, Madam Counselor. I was afraid you'd say that. I don't understand, Adonai. What does this mean? It means that whomever these prints belong to has a very proactive representation. Those prints belong to a witness, as you've guessed. You're more than welcome to their testimony. But their identity is... The department is being very considerate of the witness's privacy out of respect for their time and appreciation for their cooperation. Fine, forget the name. That easy? Subpoenas are always an option. A court order compelling attendance or evidence. A legal order issued by the state on the behalf of the prosecution or the defense that compels the addressed party to give testimony, provide information, or turn over evidence. Failure to comply with a subpoena will result in being charged with contempt of court. Okay. Cur? An archaic term for a dog, an abandoned mutt or stray. Did you mean queer? Subpoenas are always an option, but I'm short on time. What did the witness have to say for themselves, detective? To paraphrase, they came to see Dr. Asher last night. The two of them talked and they had a drink together. Then the doctor got sick, so they activated the emergency system from the panel in the kitchen. The EMTs came and took them both to the hospital. Asher's condition got worse. All the witness's vitals were normal. The witness had their vitals taken? Then there should be a record of their admission at Gatesfield. And that's it. I'm guessing you didn't take all that on faith. Penumbra is set up in most of the rooms on this floor. Everything the witness told us was corroborated by the building's own surveillance system. So yes, we can guarantee that the witness never put anything into Asher's drink. I'm guessing that I can't have the keys to the penumbra, can I? Not until the witness's lawyers are done reviewing it. Lawyers? Plural? I don't have time to trade jabs with the law offices of Johnson, 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 and Johnson. Say, how about I give you their business card? The law offices of Kokler, Gustav, Prince and Prince. I was close. Law offices do have really silly names, don't they? It's just, they just like list off their name. They don't, law offices just list names and they don't have any flashy titles. It's just the most boring shit you've ever heard. No way I'll be getting any client information out of them directly. If all you bloodsuckers want to get together and tear each other apart, text me before you start. I'd like to watch. Yeah, I bet you like to watch. What? What? What does that even mean? I don't know. Needed a moment to think. So that was it? One chat, one peek at the cams, and you've eliminated them as a suspect? Look, they were searched. They didn't have any poison, any drugs, not even a stick of gum. Even if they somehow did have poison on them, the camera footage confirms they had no opportunity to use it. They drank from the same bottle as a dead man. As far as the department's concerned, they were nearly the second victim. But they aren't dead or even ill from the sound of things. David's cup. The plastic cup that David Asher drank from before he died. Forensic analysis shows matches for his fingerprints and saliva, but toxicology tests have proven inconclusive. Too much of the whiskey was drunk and or evaporated. So you think he poisoned his own cup beforehand, then poured for both of them from the same bottle. That's what the evidence is telling us. There's nothing in the bottle or the witness's cup. Contains no traces of foreign elements. Yep. But after drinking from his cup, a cup he prepared himself, he fell ill and the witness didn't. And Asher died with a foreign substance in his body. An unidentified foreign substance. Suicide by poison. I get that you were close and simple explanations aren't that satisfying, but that's life. One last thing. You said he prepared his cup himself. I'm starting to think if Morgan was the guest, I'm not sure why Morgan would react to some of these things in the way she is. I still really don't want to believe. Also, she would have been rushed to the hospital, which she wasn't. So it couldn't have been her. But she could have still put the poison into his cup somehow, but I'm not sure how. So I'm really hoping, again, I'm really hoping she didn't kill him. That it was someone else. You just said he prepared his cup himself. Did you see that on camera? He left the parlor to get the drinks and came back with his already poured. The witness says he got them from the basement. The witness says that, not the cameras. There's no cam in the labs or the basement. That seems like a security hazard. Why would Noble not set things up more carefully? It's intentional. If cams of his lab ever got hacked, outsiders could steal his IP and kick Noble's monopoly to the curb. True. Right, David did complain about Noble's weird protocols for combating corporate espionage. At least we can take comfort in knowing that Father wasn't alone when he died. Yeah, that's worth investigating. Statements made by the singular witness that David Asher suspected poisoning and death corroborated by video evidence. Witness arrived at 7:30. Witness spoke with David Asher in his parlor before he left to retrieve liquor from his basement at 7:36. Upon returning at 7:38 p.m., the two of them continued speaking while they both drank. David Asher felt lethargic and disoriented shortly after 8 p.m. David Asher lost consciousness at 8:03 p.m. EMS was called for emergency console at the kitchen at 8:04 p.m. David Asher and the witness were taken to the Gatesfield Memorial Hospital at 8:08 p.m. All right. Rose River Whiskey, 12 years old. You recognize it? Sure, he was more than partial to the brand. It's a good brand, only a bit overpriced, which is the bargain of a lifetime in David's world. It appears that the police have already tested its contents. No foreign matter present, was their conclusion. Is it possible the police missed the poison? No, even if they can't identify the poison, they can detect its presence by comparing samples of the whiskey to a bottle off the store shelf. So we can eliminate the possibility the bottle of whiskey was poisoned. All of Rose River whiskey found in the dining room scene, for instance, shows no foreign. Yep. Known brand. Yes. Okay. We'll have to find our smoking gun elsewhere. One chair knocked over, probably where David was sitting, and one chair pulled out, a party of two. He never cared much for socializing, but he enjoyed hosting. Contradictory guy. Seems like that's everything critical on this side of the room, which leaves the kitchen. He said there's camera footage of the dining room showing David and his guest. What about in here? Only camera in the kitchen is the one mounted on the call terminal. The console took a snap image when the witness ran in to contact emergency services. May I see it? Not unless you scrape the witness's face off the pic first. Don't tempt me. Three unwashed dishes and a single glass. Reyes, these dishes haven't been scanned for prints yet. And I just assumed you might want to do your job? Yeah, there are prints. Most match the victim. But there's also... Hey! Don't sneak up on me like that. All I did was walk over to you. You knocked over the salt, Adonai. I was focused on the task at hand. Didn't realize tunnel vision was a selling point on your mod. Adonai, the salt. As I was saying, the witnesses' prints are on that glass. That glass in the sink, they were drinking from cups in the parlor. Did you see a glass on camera? No. So when did they touch this glass? Glass of water found in the sink. There's the DNA and fingerprints of the unknown witness, no trace of poison. You need to toss it over your shoulder. Witnesses must have thought about giving the guy some water, but he would have just choked on it if they had tried. What, you think this glass was the murder weapon? It's bad luck, Adonai. Whacked him on the back of the head so fast it went between video frames? That's genius. You should go through the footage frame by frame to prove your theory. But sure. It's bad luck. What have you been going on about? The salt? Shouldn't a machine be above petty superstition? It's not a superstition. It's an ancient wisdom. Give me one logical reason to care, then. If too much salt spills onto your food, it'll make you gag. Maybe it's on me for setting the bar too low there. A salt shaker that was accidentally knocked over during the investigation. The cap was loose, and so salt spilled out over the countertop next to the salt. Spilled salt is an omen of bad luck, according to some. Consuming too much salt will at once make you gag, according to Serra. Fuck. Messy workspaces, but a pristine kitchen. David was a good cook, but only for others. Unless he had a guest, he'd happily eat instant ramen and protein bars for all 3 meals. Or 2, or 1. No signs of food prep to be found, not so much as a cheese board. So whoever this guest was, they must have showed up unannounced. Yeah. That makes it seem a little bit sus if they showed up unannounced. This is where the emergency call was made. What time did the call go out? 8:04 p.m. Before you ask, the witness left the parlor at 8:03 p.m. Not enough time for them to alter the scene. I wasn't going to ask that. When did the medics arrive? 8:08 p.m., remember? Hell of a response time for a penthouse. Private EMS came by air? Yeah, they landed on the VTOL pad you saw outside. Took him to Gatesfield. The very best if you can afford it. Looking around here, seems like he could afford a lot. He got his insurance through his employer, just like most people. Executive 4 plan. David Ash's health insurance policy with Caduceus. Paid for through Noble Electronics. Includes private EMS services on standby. Caduceus only offers 3 levels of employer-provided plans that outrank it. Caduceus's Executive Plan 4 isn't like most people, Counselor. He had executive level. Not like most people at all. A penumbra security console located inside David Asher's kitchen used to contact emergency services. Yes, private emergency. 8:04, they arrived at 8:08. Said private emergency services contracted through David. Yeah. David's fridge! Normally I wouldn't go poking in the pantry at a crime scene, but this was a poisoning. Some white wines chilling in the drawers, some real cheap liquors stuffed in the icebox. Old habits. Reyes, you said he left the parlor and came back with that whiskey from the basement? Huh? That's the cams show, yeah? There's plenty to drink right here, and unlike the cabinet downstairs, it's actually cold. He must have wanted Rose River in particular. What's that look for? You hungry? I am an android. I do not get hungry. Are you being sarcastic? Only mostly. I thought you said you required organic nourishment. I do ingest organic substances, but that doesn't mean that I experience hunger as you do. So when you don't ingest organic substances for a long time, I become tired. What a great feature. And when I'm done digesting, I don't need to know. She shits. She shits massive logs of shit. You've now had the chance to survey the crime scene. Yeah. So do you think you know what happened? Detective, is his body still at the hospital morgue? Yeah, he's at Gatesfield, along with a half-hundred noble Megs who've all called dibs. Then I'll just have to cut in line. Serra, get me a ride to Gatesfield Memorial. What, you can do that, can't you? I can, but I need your payment information to get started. Yeah? Okay. She shits with the precision only a robot can produce. Does that mean she could shit at a rate that would be weaponized? Does she have bullet shits? Man, wouldn't that be a way to fight in war? Understood. On my way down. Got it? Sync complete. Set pickup for 10 minutes should be plenty. The crowd down there seems to have gotten quite large. 10 minutes to reach the pickup spot may be an ambitious target, Adonai. How bad can it be? This is gonna have to be the part where we're about to stop. As I approach the lobby's exit, the building's soundproofing begins to fail. Weaponized, perfectly shaped, any length of velocity, whatever you need, just name it. The crowd has gotten bigger, but there's something else happening out there. The energy's not panicked yet, but it's creeping up on the tipping point. Are this many people pissed at Noble for selling androids? The hell's got them all so excited? Adonai, what does that symbol mean? In this rabble? Probably something vulgar. Which one? That heart with a bullet hole. Oh, fuck. I don't know. It's probably nothing. Ooh. Based on net associations, it appears to be a symbol for the heartbreak killer. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why would that freak have a symbol? Or a following? Or these... whatever these people are? And why the hell would they be outside David Asher's apartment? Wide-eyed man. 'Cause Noble's trying to cover up the truth! They are? Those Megs in there are scrambling to shred every document they can! We need to stick together, form a perimeter, and try to catch them when they go to dump the scraps. Serra? What are you hoping to find? Proof that Asher was killed for trying to blow the whistle. Blow the whistle? On Heartbreak? Noble doesn't want the world to know that the A-16 is sentient and homicidal. No, don't tell me. Oh my god, what if he had Serra kill him and then erase her own memories? Oh no, please. Oh, fuck. Oh no. You think that Heartbreak is an android? You think whoever did all that was human? Noble's advanced prototype went amok and started killing random people? Don't be a lamb. It only looks random. There's a clear pattern as long as you're smart enough to see past the bullshit. Oh, okay. And how does one see past the bullshit? Stop engaging. Smart kid, she gets it. She's asking the right questions. What the hell are you talking about? No way those victims weren't related. Deniable ops. A fictional designation for actions whose very existence have plausible deniability. Deniable is a fictional classification for clandestine state actions that need not be taken responsibility for because plausible deniability and military disinformation efforts create enough confusion that every party involved, even the victims, can spin the outcome to suit their own needs. No such designation exists. Deniable ops are a common recurring concept in online conspiracy theories, often used to wave away questions about why supposed explosive events are never reported on through the media or addressed by world governments. It is also commonly claimed that denial ops make ample use of private military contractors in order to further distance governments from the political ramifications of their military actions. Conspiracy theories are no laughing matter. If you're worried that someone you know might be being indoctrinated or spreading misinformation themselves, you can report them to the state at our non-confidential portal here. Fucking disgusting. It's gotta be denial ops. They must have all been in DO together before getting their records bleached. Then as soon as they've outlived their usefulness, what are you, nuts? Everyone knows the first 6 HK got were the 6 prototypes that came before him. Warm android so perfect no one could tell the difference. A bullet to the heart's the only way he could kill those over-engineered freaks. Everyone's got a goddamn opinion. I see. Stop seeing, start moving. These people are insane. Why don't you eat more corn slop, asshole? Cyberpunk, a mythological counterculture icon or way of being. Originally a term coined in a short science fiction story and later having grown into a genre of its own, cyberpunk historically has referred to a counterculture centered around the themes and underdogs resisting powerful corporate or government forces through digital guerrilla warfare. While the genre has persisted to modern times and evolved in numerous ways, over the last 2 decades, it has taken on a new meaning as a kind of mythologized way of being for the adolescent or disaffected to aspire to. A code of conduct that emphasizes anti-authoritarianism, community organizing, corporate disengagement, and socioeconomic consciousness. The so-called singular cyberpunk has become the 21st century man without a name, a wanderer with their own rule of law. Cultural critic Simon Essentia summarized the appeal as thus: there is no such thing as a 21st century hero. Is it any wonder the most vulnerable among us turn to the past for guidance? Users also frequently search for "Get Ready With Me, Cyberpunk." The 99 Man explained, "Are co-ops illegal?" What? Why don't you eat some more corn slop, asshole? You think you could be the cyberpunk without ever thinking for yourself? You think it's a coincidence the victim number 6 was working on Harco crops? They're putting something in the food! Those people. Heartbreak. This is a goddamn embarrassment. The hell I am paying taxes for the state if I can't shut this shit down. What about you, Adonai? What do you think about this heartbreak figure? They're just a murderer. Should be caught and sentenced like any other murderer. But they must have some reason for doing such terrible things. Aren't you curious? Why? Are some reasons for committing murder better than others? They might have experienced trauma or abuse. They might have... Millions of people experience trauma and abuse every day. Millions. And yet there's only one heartbreak. So you think they were just born that way? That's my guess. That's unsatisfying, sad. I don't see why it would be. If heartbreak was born like that, then they never had a chance to be anything else. If heartbreak was born like that, then none of us normal people will ever have to worry about turning out like them. That kind of predestination, it means they never have to take responsibility for what they are. The state can make them take responsibility as soon as they catch them. You make it sound so trivial. They're a very dangerous serial killer. Just a serial killer. Just? If HK shot someone every day, it would take them 1,132 years and about 11 months. In order to have killed 413,789 people. You did that in your head? I'm good at mental math. You counted the leap years. What is the significance of that number? Deaths within 18 months of the Blakefort industrial disaster. Blakefort disaster. We encountered an issue processing your request. Congestion ahead. We're currently limiting traffic related to this to this particular search due to a large number of edits coming in from net addresses outside your country's borders. We are proud to fight alongside variable user country in combating disinformation by foreign actors like those in variable user adversary latest. You can read more about how and why the collaborations work here. Tired of running into slowdowns? So are we, but maintaining a security data border takes resources. Times that number by 2 for the injuries. Tack on another 183% for the birth defects. 413,000 dead, and there wasn't anything evil about it. Just human error, some shoddy welding, and time. So you think that heartbreak is nothing by comparison? Perhaps that is the problem then. If they're nothing, if they represent nothing, then they can stand for whatever the crowd wants them to. Please make way. Okay. That's gonna have to be it for tonight, everybody. Thank you all very much for joining me here tonight. I really appreciate you coming here to hang out with me. We will be back in 4 days. Wednesday, if you live in the United States, we'll be doing a chill stream on Wednesday as normal. But next Friday and next Saturday, we will continue this game. I have no idea how long this game was, because apparently when Google said it was 3 hours long, it must have been one of those AI reports that are completely inaccurate. Like, this game has been much longer than 3 hours. So I have no idea how much more game we have left, but that's okay, because I really enjoy it, and I hope you all do as well. If you happen to be new here and you enjoyed hanging out with us tonight, if you think I deserve a follow, I'd appreciate that quite a bit. We stream 3 times a week for approximately 2 hours. And this stream will be re-uploaded to YouTube tomorrow night, where we'll join every single stream I have ever done. So if there are any you want to catch up on, you can find all of them there. Link is in the About section. And yeah, I went hella overtime. I probably should have stopped like 20 minutes ago, but it's whatever, you know. So thank you all very much for being here. I appreciate your support in every capacity. I hope you have a good afternoon, evening, morning, etc. And I will see you all again soon with a chill stream, but then of the devil. Ciao.